Hey guys, hope you all are having a good time this festive season with your closed ones. In this tutorial, let me share with you all the exact tips to make the best rasmalai ever. Wait, what makes a good rasmalai? One that does not break in the boiling water, retains its shape whilst cooking, soaks up the milk beautifully, has a spongy and airy texture from within.
Tips to avoid rasmalai turning hard, chewy, rubbery, tense and dry has also been covered, so do keep watching it till the end for all the tips and tricks.
Let us get started with the first step, which is to make the ras of the rasmalai. Trust me, this is the easiest part of the whole recipe. All you have to do is take the milk in a wide mouth and a heavy bottom pan. That way it becomes easier and quicker to reduce the milk. On medium flame, stir the milk to reduce it to around 70% of what you started with. This would take approximately 30 to 40 minutes of your time, depending upon how much milk you have started with, what kind of vessel you are using, and also what flame are you cooking the milk in.
Once the milk starts simmering, add a couple of tablespoons of it to the saffron strands. Mix and allow the saffron strands to release all its flavor and let this sit aside until ready to use.
Now do remember to scrape the sides of the pan, as that is where the malai gets stuck to. So scrape that and mix it along with your milk. Now this is how you will get the grainy texture in the milk, which shows up on the malai, that is the cheese balls, paneer balls, making it richer and creamier. And that is the secret trick to make the ras creamier. Okay, so stir the milk in regular intervals, as you do not want to burn it at any cost. A slight burning smell will also ruin the whole taste of it, and of course do remember to scrape the sides of the pan as well. Now for making the ras of the rasmalai, make sure to use a full fat, any kind like buffalo or cow's milk would work. Do not use the skimmed one or 2% one. Okay, so now this is a tip for all beginners cook here. How do you know whether the milk has reduced or not? Now if you are an experienced cook, you can judge by just looking at the pan, but for someone who is just starting out, simply transfer it to the measuring cup and see. So we started with 1.5 liters and 70% of that with all the max is around 1000 to 1100 milliliters. You do not have to be super accurate here. Little bit up and down is totally fine, as once we add the other ingredients, we will be cooking it for another 10 minutes or so the milk is gonna reduce further. Other thing is, when I am making rasmalai for rasmalai cake specifically, I tend to reduce the milk to 80% or so, because we want the cake to soak all the milk, right? If it is too thick, the cake won't be able to soak it. Same is the case here too. If you reduce it too much, the paneer balls won't be able to soak all the milk. So this is your secret too, which is to keep the ras of the rasmalai milk thin. Now proceeding, add the milk back to the saucepan, followed by the addition of saffron milk and nuts. Give a quick mix and add the sugar. Mix it as well and allow this to boil for another 7 to 10 minutes.
I am also adding in a drop of yellow food coloring. This is optional, you can skip it if you want to.
Then transfer to another bowl to cool completely. Before we proceed to the next step, grind some cardamom pods. A tip here that my mom had shared with me was to add just a pinch of sugar to it, and that way it becomes super easier to grind the pods in your mortar and pestle. Remember, the fresh the ingredients you use, the better the taste will be. So use pods and grind it to powder form and add it to a milk. Do not go for the store-bought cardamom powder here. And also, I did not add the skin of it. Do not throw it away. You can put it in your tea container and get amazing smell in your chai when you make it the next time. So now allow this to cool and let us get into the main part of the recipe, which is making the paneer balls. This also starts with boiling the milk. The key to remember here is which type of milk to use. So for this part, you have to use only cow's milk. Do not use buffalo milk, as you won't get soft chena or paneer with that. Now transfer your milk to the saucepan and bring it to a boil. Again, do stir in between if need be. Once it has boiled, switch off the flame and let it sit on the countertop to cool just a bit, say about 5 to 8 minutes. In the meanwhile, let us prepare few things like diluting the vinegar with equal amount of water. That way there won't be any aftertaste in your paneer. So keep a bowl with a strainer ready as well. Place a muslin cloth on top of it to strain the paneer.
So now when to curdle the milk, just take a small amount of milk in your palms. It should feel hot but still be bearable and not boiling hot. So that is when you start adding your diluted vinegar mixture. So the other mistake that you might be making is adding all the vinegar at once. No, so you just add a small amount of diluted vinegar, mix the milk and again add and mix. Continue this step of adding a little vinegar at a time and then stirring until you see the milk is completely curdled. If you look at the milk now, it is curdled, right? You can see the paneer separated. But no, that is not right. This is where some of you might again commit a mistake of straining the milk at this stage. But please continue adding vinegar until you see the whey separated completely. The clear indication for the same is when it turns green in color. So this is how we started with. Upon addition of vinegar, the milk separates a bit, and when it turns green like this is when the paneer is ready completely. At this stage, you can add ice cubes or cold water to stop the paneer from cooking further or strain immediately. Hence, it is advisable to keep the strainer ready even before you start curdling the milk. If you leave the paneer in the whey itself for long, your resultant rasmalai will be rubbery. Okay, squeeze out as much whey as you can. Bear in mind that it is going to be hot. So yes, squeeze out the water and then simply tie a knot and hang it in your kitchen counter or anywhere for around 20 to 25 minutes by the clock. After 20 minutes, this is how our paneer looks. It should be crumbly as seen, but when you press it between your fingers, it should feel wet and moist, like you would hear that chip chip sound. I hope you get what I mean, right? So yes, if at this stage the whey is not drained, then your rasmalai might break while boiling. The other part where most of you go wrong is needing the trick. So I have an amazing trick for you guys to do. Simply take half portion of the paneer in your mixer jar, pulse it 4 to 5 times and that's it. Take it out of the jar. Now let us compare the two. You can see that the mixer one that we just pulsed forms into a dough already and holds its shape better, whereas the other one is crumbly. The difference is so noticeable, right? Now let me pulse the other half too and I'll be back. Okay, so now just knead the paneer for another 4 to 5 minutes by the clock. You would have to knead it with the help of your heels. Do not apply too much pressure here. Just observe the video and do it. If you do not wish to pulse the paneer in the mixer, then you would have to knead it for around 15 to 20 minutes or until the paneer comes together as a dough. Now that we have pulsed it in the mixer, the kneading part becomes way too easier and quicker. So a good way to test is to take a small portion of it in your hands and form a ball. If it holds its shape without any cracks on the surface, then you are good to go. Now divide it evenly. With this ratio, you can make 16 to 20 balls depending upon how small or how big you shape it. I have 19 balls here. You don't have to go fancy and use a bench scraper to do the job for you. You can of course eyeball and do it as well. Now just take out the rolled ball in between your palms to give it a round shape first. You would stop here if you were to make a rasgulla. But for rasmalai, just press it gently between your palms to flatten it. If there are any cracks visible, simply cover it to make it crack free. If you leave the cracks as it is, then this would cause your balls to break in the boiling water. Okay, continuing, another tip to avoid your rasmalai from becoming dry is to keep the paneer covered at all the time. Take the muslin cloth and simply cover it. This would avoid the paneer from drying out. Okay, so just shape all the balls, and like I was mentioning about smoothing the cracks, I'll just leave one to show you guys how different it looks once cooked. So now let us proceed to the syrup needed to make the rasmalai. Most important thing here is the type of vessel you are using. It should be a wide mouth pan, and that is deep enough. If you use a flat pan or a narrow mouth pan, then there would be enough space for the rasgullas to boil and it would turn flat and won't be plumpy. The one thing that you have to remember here is the ratio of the water and sugar. So we generally take 1:4 or 1:6. So 1 part of sugar to 4 parts of water. That is 1 cup sugar and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cups of water. Since my pan is large, I am taking 1.5 cups sugar to 6 cups water, but the ratio still remains 1:4 here. Close it with the lid and let it come to a rolling boil, like literally boiling. And once you see that, do not be in a rush to drop all the paneer balls all at once, because that way the temperature of the water would be affected and your rasmalai would not be cooked properly and turn dense and hard. So just note the way I am adding. You drop one paneer ball and see whether it is holding its shape or disintegrating. So this is one way to test as well. If it falls apart at this stage, then do not add the paneer balls to the water. Instead, knead them for some more time and then proceed. Okay, so now drop a paneer ball and wait for few seconds. It's holding its shape, doing well, so I'm adding the next one. The water should be boiling at all times. Now cover with a lid and let it cook on medium-high flame for 10 minutes. It is always so exciting to watch the balls swell and boil, isn't it? Let me know about your thoughts in the comments below. By the way, you can read all the tips and tricks mentioned in this video in a much detailed manner from the blog post, the link for which is shared in the description box. After 10 minutes, take the lid and with feather-like hands, let me repeat, with feather-like hands in a super gentle way, stir the balls once, then place the lid back on, lower the flame to medium and cook it for further 5 to 8 minutes. Switch off the flame and let the balls be like that itself without any disturbance for another 15 minutes. One way to check whether your balls are cooked perfectly or not is to just drop it into a glass of cold water. If it sinks to the bottom immediately, then it's cooked perfectly. After 15 minutes, take the ball, squeeze out the water gently and then add it to the prepared rus. Let it sit in the fridge for a minimum of 4 hours and see if here is the cracked paneer ball. Look how it looks. The cracks are even more prominent now, right? If it hadn't been kneaded well, then definitely it would have broken apart while broiling. So as of now, squeeze out the water from the cooked rasgullas and drop it into the prepared rus of the rasmalai and forget about it for a minimum of 4 hours. Let it chill in the refrigerator and it's ready to be served. Just look how spongy it is. I'm squeezing it out and removing all the water, and now when I let it sit on my palms, it's springing back just like a spring and regaining its shape. Isn't it beautiful? And that's pretty much it. Now you know what makes a good rasmalai. So just go and make it in your kitchen. But before that, do watch how soft and spongy this batch has turned out to be. I hope you liked this video and you learned something from this. If you did, you know the jazz by now, right? So do like the video, share it with your friends and family, and comment below and let me know which mistake you were committing till now. And by the way, I had already shared the Rasmalai recipe video on the channel before, but it is in Hindi, and I got few requests for sharing it in English as well. So here it is for you. If you too have any recipe requests, then just let me know in the comments below and I would try to upload a video for the same. I'll see you soon in my next one. Until then, this is Sushma signing off. Take care. Bye bye.